Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Data-Driven Decisions. For my personal finance project, I've kind of been thinking about adding data science to it, um, prediction and forecasts. Um, and so, you know, my master's and my undergrad is both in statistics. So I learned my fair share of statistics, and you know, frankly, I don't use it all too often because as a business intelligence engineer, there's much more that is more important, such as data modeling and SQL coding and data visualization. But with when it comes to data science, when I learned it in undergrad, we were using SAS, and that's I used to know that language like the back of my hand. I could code very fluently with that. I really made extensive use of macros, and it was very powerful. I did a lot of amazing work while using SAS. But unfortunately, SAS has a bad relationship with the big tech companies such as Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. Um, the Unfortunately, if you work with SAS, um, you don't have um, you can't connect your SAS data to a Power BI. Um, you know these tools, these BI tools, don't really have connectors to SAS, unfortunately, and it's just a game of politics. They're trying to really weed SAS out of the market. Um, but I figured out how to get myself a free SAS license using just SAS Studio, using my university email that still that lets me get access to a lot of software. You know, I'm not a student, but um, you know, as Grand Valley keeps that email alive and keeps it with all its perks. It makes me a student for life, and I appreciate that. Let me share my screen and I'll show you what I've done in SAS. Awesome. All right, here we go. So, I'm brushing off my SAS skills. I don't know it like the back of my hand like I once did, but a lot of it's easy to find this code just by using ChatGPT or Copilot. But just to get over the fact that you can't connect directly to a BigQuery table, I wrote just a quick Python script that you see here that just selects the monthly finance table, brings it into a data frame, and then exports it out to a CSV file on my C drive, and that I brought into the SAS environment. And here's the location of the file. So, it was a manual ETL, and I don't know how to dynamically do this, but I manually brought this CSV file into this environment. And then from there, I turned it into a SAS data set, just by using the proc import and, looking at the table. It's got, it's this big long table. It's the one with, a row for every month and then just hundreds and hundreds of metrics. Um, Looking at it, just the first 10 rows, but you see, it's a very wide table. This is great for statistical analysis. This is really what you want to go. And then, I first started off with a proc GLM. Technically what I got going on is just a multiple linear regression. I don't really have any class variables in there. They're all continuous. But I'm trying to make this model where, um, what determines my net worth change. And I got 4 ingredients, the cash flow of the month, the net 401k input, the investment interest, the house equity change, and the car equity change. Um, and you know, I like the proc reg better. We can look at, this is all you get from proc GLM, and I'm trying to turn on all the plots, but they're not turning on for me. But if we go to the proc reg, so this is the exact equivalent of this GLM. I mean, it looks the exact same, just reg instead of GLM. And if I run this, it gives me some good stuff. It gives me the parameter estimates. So this is really what the meat of what you want to know. We're predicting net worth, and this is the equation. It's the intercept, so minus 148 plus the money to move value times this estimate right here. So for every 1 unit increase in cash flow or money to move, uh, you know, the net worth change increases by a factor of 0.9. The biggest factor is net 401k. So it's very important for me that seems to be the best factor, because 1 unit of increase in there moves my net worth up by more than a factor of 1. That's really cool. Here's some just diagnostics, just showing how the fit looks. That's all good. And I got this in a data set. So this is its own table now. The parameter estimates, but it's not in the shape I really need it. I need it just as one row and a variable for every single one of these 6 rows. So that's what I did. And I just did it in proc SQL. SQL is my bread and butter. I just made that. That's what I need. So to make this model come alive, I join it to the input table right here, the one row, and it's just on 1 equals 1, so it's linking up to every row. And this is the equation to find the estimate of net worth change. So we modeled net worth change. Now we're going to just bring it to life as the estimates, and this is how you go about the equation. So the intercept plus, and then the money to move value from the input table times the money to move parameter estimate from the parameter estimate table. And it just goes like that for every single one. So now this estimate's come to life. We go to the far right of this table. Now we got the net worth change estimate. So it's estimate. We got its error to show how far off it is. And if we just plot the net worth change with the estimate, look how good that is. That is really picking up the variability in my net worth change. And so this is good to use, to try to estimate my net worth change, rather than, just building a tool in Excel that, just calculates it by estimating all of my account balances. This goes at it in a different way, where it measures my net worth by, these 5 components or 4 components to how it could change. My cash flow, the investment interest, the 401k input, and house equity change and the car equity change. And that alone does a really good job of measuring my my net worth. As you can see in that plot, it's really picking it all up. And we just look at the errors, not so bad. I guess that's not really telling so much since the bins are so wide. Wish I could figure out how to make bigger bins, but Um, you know, next step now would be to, bring this into Power BI. You know, take this plot. I can make it look nicer, make it only, um, the I can make it look like a forecast, but you know, it's nothing wrong with using a GLM to forecast. I mean, as you can see, it does a really good job. Um, and I can also add more variables to this model. This is a simple model, and I like that. These are the five main pieces to my net worth change that I can think of. It doesn't add up to my net worth change, and I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't, what's missing. But those are the big five, and frankly, to get this into Power BI, um, I guess I can do it. I can manually turn this into a CSV and then pick that up into Python and then move it into BigQuery, just like I've brought this table into SAS. I'm getting around the SAS access, so it's hard to connect to databases because you need the licenses, and this is just a free license, and you can always figure out what you got by doing proc set init run. You run this, it just tells you what you got in your log. So I got SAS stat, that's really important, SAS graph for SGplot. Um, but I don't have any of the accesses, so just have the basic PC files and MySQL. So I guess if I wanted to use a database, it'd be MySQL, but I'm just using CSVs to move things in and out, and that works fine. But I really want to probably turn this into Python. Really automate it. The problem is I got to manually uh, bring this CSV file in and then manually probably export it out. Um, Unfortunately, I can't figure out the code to talk to my C drive in SAS Studio. But yep, as you can see, SAS is a great tool. But yeah, I want to do this in Python now. So figuring out how to do this model and then have how to output the parameter estimates, and then once that's done, I can do the exact same thing I'm doing here in Python, and then to bring the parameter estimates into the monthly finance table and bring that into Power BI and bring some data science into my work. So that will be cool. That's kind of what I'm working on, and I hope you like this introduction into SAS. If anyone wants to work with SAS for free, you can just do what I did using SAS Studio. I mean, if you were once a student, just keep using your student email. Gets you far in a lot of things. I use the Microsoft products for free because of that. I use, Power BI, and SAS Studio is for me because I can have that email. So it's good stuff. So I hope you like this video. Hope you learned something about SAS. SAS really is an amazing tool when it comes to statistics. Nobody has a cleaner, syntax than SAS to do that work. That's what it was designed for. But I understand what's challenging about SAS. It's nothing else talks to it. So, uh, you know, uh, it's always you always want to try to do this work in Python. Everybody all over, all these big companies are taking all their SAS work and translating it to Python, and a lot of our projects in our company are those kind of migrations. So, you know, unfortunately, SAS, I don't know if its future is very bright, and you know, you want to be much better in Python than you want to be in SAS. But um, for me, I know SAS very well, so it's just good to refreshen my memory of it and just bring some data science to life, in a simple manner, just by using a multiple linear regression to predict my net worth change. So, and I definitely did a good job of it. It it's a good estimate. So, have a good one. Bye.